What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another hot and spicy video game review. Today we are going to be talking about MW3, and to be a little bit more specific, it's going to be zombies in MW3. As you guys all know, I love zombies. That's the whole reason why I started my YouTube channel, was because of zombies. So let's get into it. For me, I'm not really playing this game at all, if anymore. I was really excited about season 2 until they said that there wasn't much of anything that was going to come out, and that is not an understatement. They really were telling the truth when they were saying not a lot of things were going to be coming out for season 2. And I want to make this completely clear. I do like this game mode. I do have a lot of problems with it, and we're going to get into that, so it's going to seem like I don't enjoy it, but I do enjoy it, and I enjoyed it a lot when it first came out and when it was fresh. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's start off with some of the cons. Just simply that there's not enough content, like, whatsoever. I have no idea why they thought it would be okay to release this game that feels almost unfinished. Don't even get me started on the bugs. I've logged in being completely wiped out in this game mode, and that's really upsetting. At the very least, when you release a game, you would think that bugs like that would be all ironed out, and it's really just disappointing that it's not like that. Also, carrying people is like extremely harder in this game mode, which I understand, and it's not really a con. I guess it's just a statement. I'm kind of used to playing with people that I introduced to the game not that long ago, so they're still getting used to playing video games, and they're still getting used to like the controls, like, and we play different games. It's not like we're always playing the same exact game, trying to always learn like the new controls of everything. You know, they're not as good of players, and it's extremely difficult for me to carry them, and I guess that says a lot about my skill level and my skill issues. But I just feel like it should be said that it is a lot harder to carry people than in the previous modes. In the previous modes, you could always revive somebody very, very fast, and this one's still fast as long as you have quick revive, of course. But I don't know. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like I can hoard up all the zombies and still save everybody, I guess, as the reviver of the group. I also really dislike the fact that perks kind of suck. I mean, like, they're nice to have, but they're not, you don't have to have them. I love that you can load in automatically with them, and I understand that that's why it is a harder game mode, is because you start off easier. But to me personally, I don't like that the perks don't make that much of a difference. It seemed like they were trying to focus more on like armor, because armor does make a difference, which I'm not a big fan of the armor system. I'm a big fan of bringing back the shields, because then it's a little bit more strategic, rather than like, oh, okay, is this next hit gonna hurt me, or is it gonna hit my armor even though I have full armor. I really hate that part of it all. I feel like in this mode there's not enough to be a standalone zombies mode. I feel like it's a really fun mode. Like I said, I enjoy this mode, but I'm always gonna be more of a fan of round-based zombies. Round-based zombies is so much more fun to me, and I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that you could hold a zombie. You know what I mean? And I like the fact that rounds end. It's not continuous, and I like doing Easter eggs though. I love doing the Easter egg steps, even if they're difficult to find or difficult to even replicate. I like doing it just because it's like I guess that's the objective, rather than having a whole bunch of small objectives. Like, the whole team is going for one objective instead of these contracts that they made it. To me, personally, there's nothing left to go after once you have all of the schematics. Like, once you have done all of the grinding, why else would you play? And I was kind of like, didn't want to play anymore once I was getting close to having all the schematics. Like, once you have all the ones that really matter, like, you know, level 3 Pack-a-Punch, the rarity, or the legendary, ether tool, and like, once you have like all of the really good things, I really don't see a point in almost playing the game anymore. And I really didn't like that, and I felt like season 2 was supposed to boost that, and it did not, like, whatsoever. But that's kind of how it is loving zombies is you know that you're not first priority, you're not even second priority, you're third priority to all of these games. So it's kind of what we're used to. It really sucks though, because I feel like we do have a good sized following, and I would just love to see more attention to be had towards the zombies game mode. Like if you're gonna do it this way, like this outbreak way, you would think that they would put even more money into this game mode rather than like releasing something that just does not have a lot of content. This next con that I cannot stress to you enough, I absolutely hate it. I really do. And it's going to be that they only made it 3-person. Zombies has always been 4-person, always, and I have a 4-person team, and even 5 people sometimes, you know. But in Zombies, the more people that you have, the more fun that it is. The easier it typically gets, depending on how good your other teammates are. And they made it 3-person, or only 3 people. And the part that really upset me was that, what is there, 24 people inside of the lobby? So making it 4 people, I mean, I don't know, to me it didn't seem like that much. I'm sure there's a lot that went behind that decision, but coming from a person who normally plays 4 players, sometimes even 5 players on other games, it was really disappointing to see that they're downsizing the amount of people that you could play with. And I understand that they want you to play with more randoms and everything like that, but I feel like 24 people with 4-person teams would have been just as good. Or if you wanted to make the teams even bigger, if that would work on the server side of things, then do that. But it was really upsetting to find out that it was only 3 people. And once again, I can't stress it enough that just adding more gameplay and making the game more smooth would have, even if it released, like the release dates weren't every single year, and it was like maybe every year and a half, maybe every 2 years, but when the game comes out, it's actually a playable game with minimal glitches, similar to like Halo. When that game came out, it was polished, it was completely clean, and the developers, you can tell, had a lot of pride in what they were doing. Alright, now let's get into some pros. So first off, I just want to say that this is a really fun concept. I love the fact that you can drive around doing a whole bunch of small objectives while still aiming for a big objective if you want to, referring to like the worm or the ether sigil. I really like the idea of it, and I like the big maps. I just wish it was a little easier to traverse them. I think they're doing a really good job on like the parachutes and the zip lines. I love the zip lines, and even like the portals that shoot you up. But I can't say it enough. I love the fun concept of the map. Next, I love the enemies. The enemies are awesome. Some a little harder than others, which is kind of weird to me. I always thought that there should be around like the same level field with different like annoyances. But like the Mangler is usually a pretty easy boss. The Mimic is the easiest boss in my opinion. And then like Disciples, they're terrible. Most of the time when I get a Disciple, I just cancel the contract. And I feel like that's not fair to the devs who made the Disciple, because I mean, I understand it's difficult, but then you're getting the same reward. So if you want to add difficulties amongst the enemy contracts, and you need to separate the loot and make the loot better. If I'm going to be spending more bullets into this guy, then he needs to give me better results. Driving different vehicles in Zombies is fun. Just driving vehicles in general is fun. Since Outbreak, I've loved it. I really have. And I love the fact that you could pile your team into it, and you could have one driver, one person shooting, and I really love that concept, and I never would have thought back in when I only played Black Ops 3 Zombies and Custom Zombies, I would have never thought that I would have loved having vehicles in Zombies. But if you're going to make these big maps, I absolutely love it. It's just fun, and I love the different vehicle types. I do somewhat wish that gas wasn't a thing, but it's like just a minor annoyance. So I mean, they have plenty of gas stations if you just stop, and then it becomes a whole like mini objective where you're trying to defend your car while someone's filling up the tank, kind of thing, which is just a funny statement to say about Zombies in general. It's fun. I really enjoy the vehicles, the different vehicles. I love how like there's like a motorcycle, or like the quad, and it like the smaller ones are faster than the bigger ones. Like that makes sense, and I enjoy that. And the bigger ones are a little bit more tanky. Like to me, that was really well thought out, and I love everything behind the car. I love that working as a team is completely essential for this. If if you have like a really stacked team and everyone can hold their own, then by all means, if you guys want to separate throughout the map, then go ahead. But it is slightly more rewarding to do it as a team together, because then you finish it faster. This game mode was made to not be solo, and so it does reward you in the slightest bit for playing with the team. Contracts are fun and they're interactive. I would say that it's like one of the most interactive times that Zombies has ever been a thing, because I'm telling my teammates, hey, like, you flank and I'll draw its attention, and you get the zombies while I get the boss, kind of thing. Run away if you're low in health, you know what I mean? Like, we're actually working as a team, rather than whenever me and my friends play Zombies in like customs or just regular Black Ops 3, you know, we're always fighting to get like, oh, I'm gonna hit the box first, you know what I mean? So like, we're kind of selfish players in that sense. In this game, you're kind of sharing your stuff by like dropping everything and sharing money. I love sharing money. That is like one of the biggest pros that I could ever imagine. I've been wanting that to come out since the first Black Ops, where I'm like, you know what, if you have the money and I'm like 50 points short, it's just been I always thought that would make the most amount of sense, and I hope when they bring back round-based zombies that they carry that on, because I absolutely love that idea. The different difficulties depending on location of the map is also a really awesome idea, honestly. I love that. I wish that it was I almost wish that it was a little bit easier, the zones, or that after getting maxed out, your guns do a little bit more damage, if that makes sense. Like, no matter what, the bosses and the people inside of the red zone need to be easier, or give us a weapon boost. Make me feel like my gun is doing damage. I'm not in this map very long, so when I'm in it, I don't want to feel like I'm constantly trying to get my guns better, because that's just a mess. Let's talk about these big maps. The reason why they make these big maps is because they use them also for like Warzone multiplayer sometimes. So it's kind of like a laziness thing, which I'm fine with, because in some ways you could say that it's innovative, and it's fine. If you're going to make these big maps, keep the fast travels in there and maybe make a little bit more, so where like you're constantly next to it. So maybe you have a choice to fast travel or use a car, rather than, you know, I don't have a fast travel anywhere near me, so I have to use a car to get to the fast travel. That part's just kind of annoying, especially with such limited time inside of this game. So we have to, I'm hoping that they make the time longer, or they add some more fast travels, but I like the big maps, I like the fast travels, I'm just asking for a little bit more. In-game upgrades that carry over. So I'm mainly talking about, it's going to be like the backpacks. So you purchase them in-game, and then if you successfully exfil, you get to carry them to the next game. I absolutely love these kinds of things. Same thing with like sodas. Not that you could purchase them, but if you find some, you can carry them to the next game. So this way you don't have to use your schematic, or if you already use your schematic, you have it for the next game. I absolutely love this idea, and I hope that they continue it. Even with round-based, I feel like they have a lot of potential to make that, like to implement that into round-based zombies. And then my final pro is going to be, I love the fact that you could play with other people. I wish it was an option, like maybe you could do a private lobby with the 3 people only, or you can play with everybody. But the part that I like when you do play with everybody is the fact that you could be saved by random people, and then you could also save random people. I feel like that is very interactive, and I've never felt the zombies community more interactive as a whole, like more so now than ever. And I absolutely love that. I'm always down to talk to everyone. I love the vicinity chat. It could get very, very toxic, so be careful. It's amazing, man. I mean, I love that idea. I never even thought about it, and I really appreciate the fact that they implemented that in there. So now that we've talked about the pros and cons, here are a few solutions that I thought of, that other people have thought of. I'm not claiming these as my own original ideas. I'm not even claiming my pros and cons as my own original ideas. It's just how I feel, and if I hear it from someone else, I definitely, I'm going to take to that, you know. So some solutions is get rid of the timed gameplay. I mean, nobody likes it. I never heard anyone say, you know what, I really love the timed gameplay. If anything, try and make it more reasonable, like like that you want to exfil. Like with the schematics, if you had like really good ones, you were just like, you know what, I'm not gonna risk it, I'm just gonna exfil. So more of that, or get rid of the time gameplay whatsoever, or just make it longer. An hour is not enough. Do an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, to where you're still getting kicked out of the map, but at least this way you get to spend more time doing the harder missions. So that this way it doesn't just seem like you have to, as soon as you get built up and strong, you have to restart, because I absolutely hate that. The only time that I actually have fun is when I roll into the mission, or into a brand new world with everything loaded, which you could pretty much only do once a day, and sometimes even longer than that. Adding more content to make the gameplay more enjoyable and replayable. So it doesn't even have to be anything big. Maybe add in some old contracts that we've seen previously, or just spruce up some of these contracts. To me, you just have to keep making the game look fresh to keep people playing it. Add more rewards, and definitely fix the reward tier system. So if it's a harder boss, you get better stuff than if it was like a mimic and stuff like that. Bring back 4 players. I can't stress that enough. 4 players. If you want to change the amount of players that we're going to have, make it 5 to 6 players. Like, don't go down, just go up, because it is very annoying, the fact that they went down in players. Make it more beneficial while working together as a team rather than splitting up. Possibly a team boost whenever the whole team is all together. I just thought that would be kind of a nice way of boosting us by working as a team. You're getting rewarded without essentially getting anything in general. So if like you're playing with a team of 3, all 3 of you guys are working on the abomination maybe, and you know you're gonna do extra damage because you guys are all there working as a team and you're all close by, and if one player has to leave, then you don't get that anymore. You don't get that damage boost. Possibly, I thought that was a fun idea. And then last but not least, boost all wonder weapons. They all suck. I mean, there are definitely ones that are better than others, but at the end of the day, if I see a wonder weapon, I'm like, oh, cool. And then I just throw it on the floor because I don't want it. I would rather have the empty slot to run faster. I know that you can use the Juggernaut trick, but at the end of the day, I'm not finding myself like excited about the wonder weapon. So to me, it's not a wonder weapon. It's just a weapon that's in the game that I am not going to use. You know what I mean? All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really do appreciate it. And let me know if you guys like these reviews, and maybe I'll do it to some of the other games that I play. Thank you, guys.